All right, I'll just open the prayer book. Praise to Geshe. All right, just a second. I forgot to open the prayer book. Read the prayers. That's this. So we're doing praise to Manjushri. It's in page 12, right?
Yes.
All right, let's rock and roll.
Obeisance to my guru and protector Manjushri, who holds at his heart the spiritual text and of his feet, all things as they are. Whose understanding shines forth as the sun, unclouded by violence or traces of ignorance, who teaches in 60 days the patient love of Father for his only Son.
All creatures caught in the prison of samsara, confused in the darkness of their ignorance, overwhelmed by their suffering.
You, who drag not the cooperation of Dharma, arouse us with supernatural knowledge and frees us from the iron chains of our karma.
Whose powerful soul of wisdom fused on suffering wherever it sprouts appears, clearing away the darkness of all ignorance. I entreat you, my virtues, priestly bodies adorned with 112 marks of Buddha.
Who has completed the taste of achieving the highest perfection of Bodhisattva, who has been pure from the beginning, O Manjushri, all-loving one, with the brilliance of your wisdom, illuminate the darkness enclosing my mind, enlighten my intelligence with wisdom, so that I may gain insights into the Buddha's words and techniques that explain them. Shorter Mandala. Saji Koki
Joshi
Guru Rana Mandala Gani Adayami Sanji Chodan Toji Chonala Chancho Badu Dali Kyabsuji Dagi Chishi Jibe Sonunji
Dola Benche
Sanji Drobarasho Sanji Chodan Toji Chonala Chancho Badu Dali Kyabsuji Dagi Chishi Jibe Sonunji Dola Benche Sanji Drobarasho Sanji Chodan Toji Chonala Chancho Badu Dali Kyabsuji Dagi Chishi Jibe Sonunji Dola Benche Sanji Drobarasho Kanki Tuzengi Zone Tawatam Jepam Bichere Tambichun Tenze Kodam Jela Chanzelo. Good morning.
Right.
This.
Maybe.
Takazing Himak Shuzam de Nibalamgi Rimba Mushebala Ni Tanjuki Telan Imbulambi Shir Kurwata Imbu Chidalambi Tsusheba said Tambanza Tanjuki Telan Imbulambi Chir Kurwa said he and the Tonmata in Rotigorasra.
So we've been looking at the first chapter of Shantideva's Guide to Bodhisattva Way of Life, and we go to the point where Shantideva is making an exhortation to extract the meaning of a precious human rebirth. So looking at verse, I'll just put the text on the screen. Just a second. All right, so in that section we had 2 points. Exhorting to take the essence of the basis with freedoms and endowments, and then the method for taking the essence.
Redinzada karso dengan saje korang laya kowaji lembaina ani domro raya gi dirdoas dinza tanjur gitten lan himbo lambiche kurwas laundi manzulaya tawa jeden jochin sami lidin chinye yores di tolaya taji lidingi nimbo dilengores ani kurmachewa ani the su kurguyore sula kurguyores lavaina ani tanda jasichum shiwale kurnangorwada kursa di ani jasichum shiwala ani shengu su shudewe she shu kawgi ani doje chigu mayimba tandi nganzu ani musu pigilaya ani nyensam gu shungingi ngaransolaya ani kurguyabati kotubaina teni digi shon digi tachi ani tsawainare jawainare digi Geshe ma nyensam cheondi soso rang la yaji ani jasichim shiwale kurguyabati sowaji lentubaina teni kan nyemba digi ani soso la ya pendo ani yondang rodi mandrawaji lego asares.
So if we look at the outline of the text and work for the time being just with the outline, Geshe reckons that there's quite a lot that we can understand. So it's important to look at the outline. So first of all, in verse 4, we have an exhortation to take the essence of a human body with freedoms and opportunities. So we need to take we need to understand our freedoms and opportunities. We need to take the essence of that, and an encouragement and exhortation is made in that section. So there are a couple of questions that can come up in one's mind. First of all, who is the person who is exhorting us? Who is the person that is making that exhortation? And to whom who is the person that this exhortation is targeting? Well, the one that is making that exhortation is Shantideva. Now, if you wonder, who are the people that is encouraging? Well, not only the people that were alive and at his presence during the time that Shantideva was alive, but you can say that also we are also the people that are encouraged by Shantideva. So he's also talking to us. So we're studying here a text, a root text. We study and we explain those teachings. And when we look at Shantideva's, the great Bodhisattva Shantideva's exhortation, we need to make it heartfelt to the point in which we not only read through the text, we feel as if Shantideva is speaking directly to us, so that he's making this heartfelt encouragement. So we also should be encouraged from, with that deep sensation of wanting to make the most out of our freedoms and opportunities. Chiton Sungyan.
당가 로식싱 말다. 안디 간지 아니 갑 드디 송 샤교게 아니 송디 갑 드디 그 몇sol야 지 송샤비게 아니 천나르지 토니 아니 로종 체바이나 아니 소소다 만데바로 시작도 왔어. 디치나 아니 그 단디게 담마도 점점마도 야가 많지 증거 말았어. 어디서를 차바이나 야고만다스.
So then Shantideva lived quite a few centuries ago, right? He was an 8th century scholar. And 1,200 or 300 years later, we studied his text. So now we feel that Shantideva is talking to us, although Shantideva was an Indian scholar. At the time that he was living and teaching, he was teaching an audience of Indian people. So here now amongst our students, it seems that the only Indian student that we have here is Madhu. But, we should think of Shantideva also speaking to us.
We can pretend we're Indian.
Diza Rata, ani Ngaran Surana, Ngaran Surana Yata, Sungu Yobadi. Chidan Geshe Jadam was. In the Naransurana, Sungu of Geshe Jadam, needs to think Naransu Nien Tubaina, Nien Shibaina, and 6 Chigma of Mondroina, Tigi, Sozolaya, Tende, and Pendo Yungres, the Yungra.
So if you think about it like that, think about it definitely 100% certainty that Shantideva is talking to me right now. And even if you understand just one verse, still there is a tremendous benefit that you get from that when you think that he's talking directly to you.
Tiridapena and Dinza Tanganzu Tanda, Nanzulaya, Tawaged and George Sami, and Kebawaj, Tobiabachi, Shimbikavaya, and Metseti Tenda Dembachi, Tolaya, and Beba Machibaina, that bed Tabku. 아니 즉 이함스무로 즉 자고res 빼는 미시를 걸어야 먼저 즉 최되는 게 미시를 걸어야 최라야 돈은 싸우니 매를 걸어야 그 미시 몸비 완도 송바리 딜 걸어야 임불레 마투와이나야 즉 지디 그 카메주로 즉 제도스 라 신비 걸어야 라 소소 신비 걸어야 다즉 아니 나메다 아니 즉 파장도 제자바이나 다들 오늘 단에게 Karsota Tola Shujres, the D and Karsota, the Kansa Rogers.
But particularly for us, once we have a body, a human body with freedoms and opportunity, we can extract the meaning out of it. This is a special opportunity that we have to extract the essence of our life. So if we do not make the effort to extract the essence of this body with freedoms and opportunity, it is so disheartening. There might be someone that is totally unaware of that, totally unaware of a body with freedoms and opportunity and extracting the essence of this body. So because they are clouded by the darkness of unknowingness, they do not do so. So, what can you do about it? But for us, we know that. We know that we have a body with freedoms and opportunities. We understand that. And still, if we disregard that, if we do nothing about it, it is such a waste and so disheartening.
And Kaduk Mambuji and the Ked Segovada, Yunguros, Hadu Gansulaya, Komshi Dugja Yobadi, and it's by Changa Ton and Drogoya that Kamambushu Mancha, to the Mancha di, Nanzugi, Komshing Nembalaya, and Donin and Drogoya Chagados, that di could kill Tomamo and come de Jinza, Tele, Donin Chele, Kali Yordainea, Kali Yobainea, Pashoki. 아니 지 케벤라야 대체니 아니 강알라야 동nen체바나 그 동nen체 투야치 라몽 기어 담바 수 동nen난체 엔 딘지기 TV 콤보 톱 투기요나 안 간조 미 류난 요바 안 다와제된 조준 상위 류된 캬바지 요바 징송 인바 인자 안 간조디 돈에 집안 야지 자다면 지토야지 차고레스로 이내양 간조기 엔지 푸장 림부기 미유다 케벤딜이야 아니 지 아니 상로 땅야다 어딘지기 통자 퇴자도 총자 갑도 그 강나다 갑도 그지 거버춘중지 아니 소소 통내라고 아니 지 삼내라고 진짜 딘지질랑 고콜송 잠발라 아니 간주 된체 많지야지 아니 추소스 줘 대와 초랑 줘 대와 고급 쇼 대와 딘지 차고 와서라.
So it's strange, isn't it? So when we take the essence of this lifetime, we might encounter different hardships and difficulties, and we need to disregard them. And it's hard because we have been so entrenched in our bad habits that we have accumulated since down with that beginning and up until now. And most of the time that we spend is in still being involved with the bad habits that we have accumulated so far, and they give us no benefit. So what we want to do is to restrain those bad habits. We want to restrain them, we want to put a stop to them. And when we take up this practice, at some point we can make ourselves able to put a stop to those bad habits that we've been indulging with up until now. The great beings of the past, the holy beings of the past, have done just that. They have also had bad habits, but at some point, due to the practice, they were able to restrain and put a stop to such bad habits. And we start off just like them. We have this precious body with freedoms and opportunities, so we can also put a stop to our bad habits. Often what we do is we ignore the long term. So if we think of the long-term benefit that we can get out of that, we can secure a long-term benefit, but we often don't think about it. We're only focused on some short-term benefit that we might get out of this. So if there's something that is easy to do, easy to practice, something that it will give us a short-term result, we might focus on that and not really thinking of the long-term goal or the long-term benefit that we want to secure. But we can definitely 100% guarantee that if we put a stop to bad habits, we can make the most out of the freedoms and opportunities that we have at the present.
다 꿈만 나오는데 다 균생 송chen 임불랭고 그래스 임불랭비 뒤지를 내요레스 고급질 내요레스 다 간지 딘디진 송도 다디 송야기 균생 송디 아니 계란이야 아니 지 리덴디 톨이야 님보 피게 아니 메세 된다 된바치기 내야기 아니 차겐다 튕긴 상도스 아니 데자마세치 미치 디야 단다 차랑 길래 못어바나 딘티 고급 용야디 하장 끔부레스 딘자 아니 딘티 고급디 아니 추수스 마소 고급 딘 젠투바지 제거레스 차랑 남주 쩐치 라 디송고다 다 디송고다 라.
So the section that explains the exhortation that is made here to take the essence of freedoms and opportunities is using a reason. The time has come to take the essence of this life. And there is a reason for thinking that we have that opportunity, the time has come to do that. The reason for that is that we have a body such as this with all the conditions, the conducive conditions that make it possible to make the most out of this body. And if we do not do it now, it would be so hard to get that opportunity again in the future. So don't waste it.
최고로 마도 뒤즈디 아니 계란 구 말다스 세긴치기는 구 말다스 계란 뒤즈 딘디지 세긴치 뒤즈지 아니 뒤즈 딘디 야고지 계란이 요거와이나 계란 미세기래야 아니 지금 배바치제비게 아니 균널론주 참아때바이나 계란 요투 말다스 그래서 딘디기 아니 짜침부디 계란이 촐라타마나 촐라레다스 그 딘디로지 딘디직 순거레스 라
We have such a wholesome time at the present. So if we do it just for 1 hour or 1 minute or 1 second, we can do it. So don't wait, don't be idle about it. Because if you let that second go by, if you let it slip, you will not be able to get it back. Thinking of all the money and possessions that you have in this life, you will not be able to use any of them in order to buy back that time. So don't waste it.
대다디마직 로자고 다디노 로자도서 단존되는 이바신도 가세다 단졸고 되는데 가진간주 즉 슈스바로 와서 달와던 저하고 되는데 라 아니 다 이바신도 가스 딩지 이때인데 아니 니가와레스다 니가야 조디 아니 규찬 용이찬 제비찬 칸다 되나야 아니 신니가와 즉시 순거
So looking at verse 4, put it on the screen. The first line says, to find such freedoms and endowments is extremely rare. It is extremely rare. It is so difficult to find such freedoms and opportunities. And we can think about it in a variety of ways because of the nature of freedoms and opportunities, because of the causes that produce those freedoms and opportunities. We can use analogies that illustrate how hard it is to find such freedoms and opportunities. And for all of these reasons, it is so difficult to find.
그러다 아니 간주기 가서다 간주기 미기 통대야기 아니 비 수진기 추용수 저바디 아니 저단디 교단 깬치를 때네 저기여버다 간중모섬 통토거라스 대 미기 모섬도 많던다 나왜 코데게 자이나야 안코 교단 깬치를 네버도 뛰고 거라스 아니 삼비 추나 다가라스 대나신기 간주 류덴디야 아니 규메 깨매질 때네 죽투 매바 대 가서다 규겐 mam부질 땡고 여봐 대 규겐 다가치 아니 간주치 뉴모미 샤만 손진 거 가정 마정 토니 아니 동안 담을 용대제 디난시 마임바 믹스 규켜버질 때네 아니 제부터 주고 연자 딘지 규켜버디 간주 주비하기 뒤쳐디다 아니 신도 공부 라 규신도 공부인자 규텔 때문에 제부터 딜거를 들어왔어 단 제부터 톨이야 아니 디톨이야 아니 자와 가르주고 딜거 바지 차한테 딱 가르되나야 하장 그 공부지 자침부지 단단간주 니 여버디 아니 소르고 그래서 신고 그래서
Well, and this section says that finding such a body is so rare. We can see that with our own eyes. So, first of all, there are physical phenomena that depend upon cause and conditions, and we can see them with our own eyes, and we can get a sense of how they depend upon cause and conditions. But also, there are things that are not necessarily visible to the eyes, but they're still depend upon cause and conditions, like, for example, the sounds that we hear, or also the thoughts that we have. They also depend upon cause and conditions. And similarly, this body that we have now also depends upon causes and conditions. It is not causeless. It is not without conditions. It was produced in dependence upon a multitude of causes and conditions. And those causes and conditions are quite special. It's not like those causes and conditions that give rise to daily occurrences of afflictive states of mind, anger, attachment, and so forth. Actually, the causes and conditions that are required in order to produce a body such as the one that we have now with freedoms and opportunity are so difficult to find. And since it is hard to find the occasion in which those causes and conditions are cultivated, we can get a sense of how, if the cause is so difficult to find, if the causes are so difficult to find, also the result would be so difficult to secure. So in whichever way we're going to look it up, we can get a sense of how hard it is to find freedoms and opportunities.
비시 디어드 찔러서는 딕스로 단줄 퇴비 땐들라 네버 담비 추르고 데스 추적게 된 댐비 단전된 이버신도 까디 디 유튜브 신도 컴비처스 물리 쌈식 토발라야 수좀 하지 송고라 단줄 캡을 토발라 아니 수좀 넘버 답이 시송 점발로 소부 초치 만남 주만매변 참자와 거나 대답 신도 까비처스.
Let's look at a commentary of Geshe Rinchen. So Geshe Rinchen begins with the first line. It says, to find such freedoms and endowments is extremely rare. One needs to make certain that one practices the Dhamma on this basis that possesses freedoms and endowments, because it is very difficult to find such a basis with these 18 Dhammas, since it is very rare to establish the causes for it. To attain merely a human body, one needs to practice only a single morality. But to attain a precious human body, one needs to practice the pure morality as the basis, which then needs to be complemented with a practice of generosity and so forth, and completed with pure prayers. This is exceedingly difficult to find.
아니 미기 주봉 좀 강요로 찍 만탈라 찍 아니 삼다 송고 그래서 물류점 치당 물류점 아니 물류점 슬라운데 간주다 찍미 아니 통규든 주 나니다 담미 통규든 주 요래 이네 디나니 찍 아니 최칭이 미디 아니 제가 요 말아왔어 디나니다 찍 아니 좀 된디기 지수 중인게 나치 칭에다 더 뱅이뇨로스라 뱅이뇨로스 더 디나니 비기 다치 랍드총 아니 게츠노 dombalان치 아니 메세 칸잘야 추주긴 생긴다 베디 더 니문 까마세로 디나신기다 잠블리나 파지 거셔게는 뱅이뇨 차고로스 이제 다 디디지기 아니 니뇨 디나로라야 아니 나는 추바디 아니 조지기 까와상부 디리지레스 다디 아니 마츠야 카레스 모만치야 마츠야 카레스나 아니 비기 굿 드루투 멘자 주 스톰 송고연자 샘 차담 모송 그 샤모드 처치 아니 류티 요고 류다 나디 아니 차담 모송기 아니 지 요고 소르치니다 릉아 이슴 디초르 직 다운디 아니 스톰 하치 송야기 알담보 베전 파샤는 상무 그런 거기요 말았어. 딘자다 주주비하기 뒤코는 문도 왔더라.
Now looking at the commentary again, just the beginning of this section that we read through, it says, this paragraph that begins here, it says, to attain merely a human body, one needs to practice only a single morality. A distinction is made here between just being born as a human being with a human body and having a precious human body with freedoms and opportunities. So those two things are distinct. So it says, just to attain a human body, you need to at least get one form of ethical discipline. So thinking about, for example, the ethical discipline that abstains from the 10 non-virtues. Just to get one thing out of that is required for a human body. But then when we think beyond that, like for example, there are 6 or 7 billion people living on this planet. How many of them follow a spiritual path, practice a religion? Probably you'd say half or maybe not half. Of them, how many of them are followers of the Buddha, practice the Buddha Dhamma? And of those who follow the Buddha Dhamma, how many of them take up the ethical discipline of monastics, of novices, fully ordained, and so forth? Not many. And how many of them got the ethical discipline for the rest of their life as monastics, for the rest of their life live as monastics? So few. You can say that they're so rare, it's like stars during daylight. So we are counted in the numbers. We have made it to the ranks of those that got such ethical discipline, but this is so rare. So there are many that haven't entered the ranks, so they are not counted within those that got such ethical discipline. And what is the reason for that? Well, the reason for that is that they haven't created the causes for doing that, and the cause is guarding ethical discipline. A mind is governed by anger, attachment, and so forth. Or you could say that their mind, is governed by anger, attachment, and ignorance. And the body follows suit. The body becomes a servant to afflictive states of mind. So, of course, there would be no ethical discipline that would be practiced in that scenario. So often people don't even think of guarding ethical discipline. They might not understand and know about ethical discipline and not even think about having to guard ethical discipline, so they don't create causes for this human body, and even more than that, human body with freedoms and opportunities.
어딜 다들면 믿는 다 단주 된체와 상반이스 단주 된체와 된체부 루트기 땡이 바 상반 로지리 개비 된주 토번 교발라 가딘들란 템바 마주나 친데 양단조와 칼은 유르스 사와레시.
So then when we think of the great advantage, the great purpose of having such a human body, it says in the last 3 lines of verse 4, if I do not do anything beneficial now to achieve the purpose of sentient beings, how shall I subsequently attain it perfectly?
단주 토비 땡들라스 개빈 되든 주고디 다 아니 개빈 되든 주고디 다 올라용서 개비 된 몬토 당일에 줍니비 땡 토벌 겨발라 종주 첨부 줘버 차디 가디 민치비 두시 소기 땡들라 치마 펜지기 펜바 마두나 치 땡드 양다번 줘 칼은 주디 Rangja mukhombi nesu neba shechela tene dendru gyu droba shindu kumbi chero.
So thinking of the great purpose, the great advantage of freedoms and opportunities, it says in this section, contemplating the great meaning of freedoms and endowments. On this basis, which possesses freedoms and endowments, one needs to accomplish the purpose of others because one has attained the basis and depends on which one can realize the highest status and definite goodness of others, which is their purpose. Hence, one should practice with great effort.
다들이 다 기분 되든 이 아니 나란족이 다치 아니 소차 요토 쪽이 아니 샘컴라야 땡기스 여버디 대원 되버다 동한 문제 받으러 왔어. 라다 아니 되든 우마디 디기딘자 아니 디기디 아니 된담비 디기 아니 디기 뭐니 지 부숨 서버지 아니 저걸마다 내가 그 디기 참디 nganjun doden thadu marwas ra ta thadu ani dewa ani karso ta ngile da ani nega dewa ngonto la soba ani dripi gi ten khabar chendi ani thandang nganjun ye de tendres tinza dinji gi ten thelaya ta dripi kogo bi kap thelaya ani madrubaina ani ta chen deni and penny yangyar dindiji and lango chongwaina takalhago shuchi ra tangan ju gyudan deba da kanji ton song dawina and chagen sang kago shuchi and read was
All of us sentient beings innately want to be happy, and none of us innately wants to suffer. And when we think of the wish and purpose of sentient beings, what sentient beings wish for is perfect happiness and well being. So there's temporary happiness and well being that we experience from time to time, but this is not the final happiness and well being that we speak of at the moment. For example, looking at temporary well being, at the present we have attained a high status rebirth as human being, a high status rebirth as a human being. We have that. And if we do not take advantage of the high status rebirth that we have at the moment, coming to the point of the transference of life from this, when we die in this life and move on to future life, it would be so hard to find again such good working basis of a high status rebirth. It would be so hard to find it again because the cause and conditions that produce them are hard to come by.
제 딱감 간지 네 돌디 온디게 다 단단 간줄이야 두급 약수 지레스 이자 안 디깔이야다 배준치고 그랬어 간주 아니 지금 되된 탈두바 아니 탈바데 탐진기 공부주의하기 다 교주의하기 두급 될이야 아니 치양 싸우니 진행 말했어 아니 가서 그러다 다 딘티기 체도 비길이야 지금 कल खाबू यो रे खोमजी यो मारे कल यो नया कल जाओ को रेस दूरी जाओ को रेस के सोल थु बाई नया अनि सोल तांचिन अनि देदन जुगोर सोला ता जिजु चामन को मिंगो तो जे नालो ला या छु की थन दो सो तोंस छु जुया के चे रंग सोल तांग को छुमाई नया तांग को रेस र जदान नंजु सो सोया 된다 디 가르레 먼저 대기 주의하겠지. 대기 용약했지. 먼저 속사침 증거로서. 아니 대기 줍투면은 동한 바시 줍 되기 요마이나 아니 먼저 속소만서 고든스 케어 말아서. 된서 대기 주의하겠지. 아니 추 주의하겠지. 솔로 땅고 좀 땅고 그랬어. 아니 대기겠지. 솔로 땅마이나 아니 딜로 땅이 제부디 대기 지용 그러마도 동한을 두고 말했어. 어딘데 쓴 거라더라.
In short, the best time to do it is now. And we need to make efforts in order to do it. We need to secure whatever we wish for. We need to secure a purpose. And for that end, we need to work hard. We need to work hard and we need to do it with tenacity. Even at the cost of our life, we need to pursue the cultivation of our own happiness and well-being, our long-term happiness and well-being. And this is what the Venerable Maitreya said in one of the passages of his Ornament for Clear Realization. He spoke about giving up even one's own life for the sake of the Dharma. So when we think of what the meaning of giving up one's own life, even one's own life for the sake of the Dharma, well, if we spend a life, if we use a life to bring about happiness, that's one scenario. But if we use a life to create more and more causes for suffering, we create ample cause of suffering, you can say that it's best actually not to be alive, not to stay alive, than to remain alive and still create more and more causes for suffering. There is no meaning to staying alive if you create more and more causes for suffering. But if you can say, give up your own life for the sake of happiness, and you live your life in that, creating more and more causes for happiness, the result of that would be happiness and well-being.
랑안주 땐디 지당기 땐 켜버젠 디지기 여러스 소수 주바이나 아니 랑긴 되된 접퉁이 아니 셴라야 편도 춘퉁인게 땡 켜버진 주연자 디 아니 땡 켜버진 디기 아니 땡 켜버진 거 고쳐버지 제거를 쓴 거다 놀수 되어이나 먼저라 약부 여버디 약부 가서다 이 고쳐버지 먼저라 약부 여버디 배주 신주로서 제바이나 되니 trollaro was in jala khanda jimbaina jala yabudi gi ani beju dugja chebana chome gi chagro was me yabuji gi chaw dugja chebana dugja was tarwa.
So then we can use our life to bring about happiness and well-being to ourselves, as well as working for the benefit of others in bringing happiness and well-being to others as well. And we have a special basis at the moment with freedoms and opportunity that enables us to do that. So we need to see that. Not only we need to see that we have this special basis with freedoms and opportunity, we also need to make sure that it is used in a meaningful way. If we do not use that in a meaningful way, if we don't really do what it should, if we don't use it what it should be used for, it's not going to be a good thing. It's just like having something that is excellent in your possession and you use it in a bad way, in a negative way. If you have something that is wholesome, that is excellent in your possession and use it in a bad way, you put it to waste. Similarly, we have this good life at the moment or good situation at the moment, and if we use it in a negative way, it is a waste. In that sense, kind of, it's like a good person going bad.
디자 아니 등한주 리덴디 톨이야 가르드 그래 아니 가르튼 그래 슬라베나 아니 좀된 디게 양답이 추즈디 만주 리덴디 톨이야 드르트 그래스 좀된 디게 람데 나샤베게 람 하버스기 냠nen디 아니 만주 리덴디 톨이야 냠슬렘 투여르 마도 아니 nganzu draw mili shembi draw shingi tenlaya en di chegi yojen saman sango mares penna anji dombasum nganzu gi ta lamgi shede ani tembi shima ani labasum draw jingbai ne ya nganzu mi lideng tolaya lengor mato nganzu ji lats desagi pe yime sho desagi ani lai tenlaya domalen tugo mares the dindri jinza nanzola dindri jigi ani kawa yodeva kogob yodeva di nanzu tamjin chigo goras ra.
So we have this special bodily support at the moment. We have this special body, special support, and we can do it. We can follow the perfect Dharma taught by the Buddha, the Bhagavan. We can follow the path that was laid out by the Buddha, the Bhagavan. The path of the 3 trainings. We can put into practice the 3 trainings. When we compare ourselves to others, we can see how we are currently capable of following the path of the 3 trainings, whereas other living beings cannot do that. They don't have the ability to do that. So when we think of other living beings not having the ability to follow the 3 trainings completely as the Buddha, the Bhagavan laid out, well, one of the trainings is the training in ethical discipline, which entails taking vows. Where if you are born as a God, for example, is in the God realms, and this is something that many of us kind of hope for. They see this type of birth as a God as being something that is to aspire for, something to hope for. But gods cannot take vows. They don't have the basis for taking vows. So we have the ability to do that. And since we have the ability to do that, we need to use that opportunity, to take hold of the opportunity that we have at the moment.
디시디 단데 디나마다 직 아니 쭈직 송야디 베난탕 안주기 시야기 비기 쫀주겠다 조지 님보디 아니 잔주기 셈을 뭐지 들어왔어 잔주기 셈을 뭐지 기야기 땡라야 르덴다 셈딩이 여በ는 소 르덴디 딱감드니 순고레스 르덴 야슈디 잔주기 셈 기야기 땡 야슈디 아니 domba 덴비기 아니 미 르덴디 땡 야슈디 차고레스
On the basis of a body that we have now, we can practice the parts of the three trainings, or the three principal aspects of the path: the determination to live cyclic existence, the mind of enlightenment, and the correct view. So the subject matter of this treatise is the Guide to Bodhisattva Way of Life. I should have said the subject matter of the Guide to Bodhisattva Way of Life, this treatise, is the precious mind of enlightenment. And for the precious mind of enlightenment, there are two supports, two bases independence upon which you train in the precious bodhicitta. One of them is the physical basis. And the Buddha that we have now with freedoms and opportunity is the physical basis for taking up the three vows and thereby also incorporating that in the trainings in bodhicitta.
데리디자 다딩 안주기 신바이나 안주기 땡 캬바진지 니 여바 안주라야 거급이야 후슈지 여바디 아니 서바이나 아니 거급디 아니 촐라 마타와 추소스 마타와 아니 거급디 담진 제투야기 다 상로지 코르그라스 다디 디 조 디용야기 쳇 라 아니 고니마 송데 디레샤스
So this is what we need to understand here. We need to understand that we have found this special basis. Do not waste it. Do not waste this opportunity, but hold it with tenacity. This is what we need to understand.
단주 된체와 삼바세티 딘디치라 안주 단주 땐디 딘디기 된체모 드투야기 땐지마디 아니 신고그레스.
And this is the point that Shantideva points out here, that there is a special purpose, a great advantage to the freedoms and opportunities that we have.
Then David Nalaya, Tanjani Kawase, Tachitan, Tanji, Lord Shuza, the Chipatore, sitting the Jamsochi and Yashin Pubatan, Rebel Table Lake and Tundrole, Mini Chendo Kavi, Mongi, Tamjibi, Tendin Chimon, the Pegoni. Lauren Tindinamaya, the Pegoni, and it Tanjani Kavi, the Pet Disungoras, that is be in the sea.
Continuing with the reading of the commentary. Should one not accomplish the happiness of the next life and beyond due to the idea of one's permanence and the like, then how shall one subsequently attain again perfectly such a base? Normally we spend most of our time in states of no freedom where it is very rare to achieve the causes of a happy rebirth. So the difficulty of achieving freedoms and endowments is illustrated by Nagarjuna in his letter to a friend by saying, the hull of a noose on a great ocean in motion and a turtle meeting it, it's more difficult to be an animal and to become human even more difficult. Work with the human power to achieve this aim by practicing the holy Dharma.
Logbar Tawan Zindan, Tundruni, Yedanyan, Yeva Kevatan, Gavi Kame Badan, Tankabdu, Lalo Keva Nation, Kubani, Serinani, Kanyaroni, Keva She, Mukum Ken Gavos, Teda Tandu, Company, Keva Dobby had been Beverges, Jesons.
So within the 8 freedoms and 10 endowments, the first set of 8 refers to states in which we're free from states in which we would not have freedom. So we would not have the time or the ability to practice. So continuing with the reading of the commentary, it says, by abandoning the 8 states of non-freedom, one achieves freedom. The 8 states of non-freedom are, again in drawing from the letter to a friend by Nagarjuna, holding wrong views and birth as animal, hungry ghost or hell being, without the conqueror's teachings and birth as barbarian, in a border country and being deaf and dumb. As birth as long as, and birth as long life God, being born as any of these is called being born without freedom. Having found freedom free from those, strive to become free from birth.
제다 디 지기는 시우예게 다이나야다 페나 로버 타와세 로버 타와레 제당 아니 로타레야 mambu요레 네 주디 아니 랜드 로버 타베 타와세 기체슈치 인디차도다 레 게버치벌 텐딘 제비 데버 요바티 제비 데버 요 마르세 삼 데바디 아니 로타레스 미기와치니 제비 동아 용고 마르세 데디 로타레스 간지 딘디치 samlo ani shinjula dindi jiyo baina tini gewa chebala jugu mari ani megiwa cheba kangok cheg mares ro te di ani dukshu chik chagores ro.
So the section is quite clear. One of the states in which you would have no freedom is when you have wrong views, and there are different types of wrong views. But of the different types of wrong views, of the worst one is a wrong view with respect to karma, actions, and the results. So in thinking, for example, that virtuous actions do not bring about happiness, they have a wrong view. Or thinking that there is no need to abstain from negative actions because it's not going to produce a result of suffering, is a wrong view. If you have some such wrong views with respect to the working of karma, the actions that you take and the result that they bring, it means that you would be disinclined to cultivate virtuous actions and also be disinclined to guard against non-virtuous actions or negative actions. So it is considered to be a really bad or really negative type of wrong view.
manzu ngos toma tu di ani semnala ya chig ma shong wa de dos da di pe thunru ton pe lang sha wa ne pe shi le la shu ra nga thunru ani cha chi wa so ba ani ji da nyen ko le ye bi ge ani thunru tu zo re da ro din ji cha ba na ani chue che gi 고급 싸우는 면 도왔어 탑시 간데스 치 봐 나 상기 무스 펴 봐 야 콘줄에 chue che 고급 준 두고 면 도왔어 탑시 매주 지래 도왔어 이제 chue che 봐 못 봐. 다 델리 두고 지게 봐 나. 다 이인 바로 지래 도왔어. 다 니와 예다스라운다 돈줄 두고 면 야간 싸우는 요 말이스. 기지요 봐 나.
So one state of having no freedom is having wrong views. Other states that are mentioned by Nagarjuna in his text, which are also, those states are considered or counted amongst those 8 states of non-freedom, is being born as an animal, being born as a hungry ghost, so a hell being. So currently we can't see the hells. We can't see hungry ghosts. So it is likely that we find them inconceivable. But we can see animals, like, for example, looking at the wildlife that we have around here, we can see birds and so forth. So when you look at the wildlife around here, birds and so forth, a bird doesn't have the opportunity to practice the Dharma. Even if the Buddha was here, and the birds would see the Buddha in person, they will have no opportunity, no ability to practice the Dharma. And if that is not possible with respect to animals, then looking at states that are even worse than animals, the hell realms, the hungry ghost realms, the preta realms, even more so, they will have no freedom to practice the Dharma.
아니 키파 가오진 수 가오도 제싱도 왔으라 그 샤츠 베요를 다 가시 키드미 아니 찍고 찍냐 이 삼삼로치 자위기 간주 장경 제거봐 아니 세와 체면이 토는 상당 찍고 찍냐래스 레데이나 주주야기 고급 여다 맥 토는 상당와이나 자위는 만자지 차도도 왔으라 그 가주스기 뒤치와이나 아니 가시 아니 다 뒤저 그 둔주기 때 둔주기 깨네 지야 렌 데어로스 갑가야 가지 키시로 디기 빼 아니 키기 롤라 탐 제대야디서 갑드디 녜상은 참자가 뭐냐sam을 상고드스러 가서 키도 둔주인서 그 둔주 때리 도로로다 다 가와 검친 다 아니 이제 그 둔주 때리 도서다 다랑라 야지 아니 덴주 때서 켜버진지려야 깨워셔서 뭐남게 아니 가와 공바이나 지금 니야가 면서라.
So thinking about dogs, for example, a dog doesn't have the opportunity to practice the Dhamma. And no way, most of us like dogs. You know, some of them are so sweet, so cute. Some people even consider dogs with the same affection that they have to other human beings, exactly the same. And still, when we compare our ability to practice the Dhamma with the ability of a dog to practice the Dhamma, a dog does not have the ability to practice the Dhamma. We have the ability to do that. So we might keep dogs, and sometimes when your pet passes away, you completely fall apart. Some people might stay for a while with the corpse of the dog, still holding on to it. But Geshe says that when you think about it, there is a chance that they have now relinquished this unsuitable working basis for not suitable for practicing the Dhamma, and from that they move on to a happy rebirth, to a high status rebirth. So actually, if we make such aspirations in thinking that they have now relinquished this bad physical support, that unsuitable physical support of being an animal, may they proceed now to happy realm and find the opportunity to practice the Dhamma. Wouldn't it be much better than just lamenting?
야가기 드릭밍 통한 람스 세워서 만체 세셔로 야가 당한 야가 견을 대라 드릭 콘즈기 드릭이 깨버다 독자 쇼질 찍도 독자 쇼질 찍디 콘즈다 디 세셔바나 깨버 독자들 타 들어가지 찍어서 이제는 드릭 통한 세워서 만체.
In India, for example, snakes are considered to be so bad, so evil. It seems that most people, as soon as they see a snake, they will kill it. It's considered to be such a bad state of rebirth. And Geshe had that there's that idea that if you kill a snake, you liberate them from that evil state of rebirth.
기వ 도베데 데버서 따디니 어디리다 이다다 니와 드니 개위 까메바던 타급도 기와람바디 아니 무컴바 기나마 장고레스 다 개위 까메바스 라온디 아니 개위까 아니 데누숨 라소바치 다 아니 년섬 제사 메사기 내질 레바이노 안 탑심민도 왔어 죄치야겠다 아니 콤바치 비길이야 죄치야겠다 자기 자원이는 만상이 차도도 왔어. 안 어디 무컴바 찍을 다 타카버스 라운디 자위 찍바로 찍라 야위까 매바다 아니 율 타급니 뭐 지당의 타급디 다직 산기기 코남시세디 코남시디 만상이기 율질이야 야위가 까요나야 아니 지 데누숨 지 퇴숨 지야 요나야 디마 아니 다 롱균 치균 안치 domban soba 용수 소바지 난토에게 자기 참으면은 아니 다급 차도도 왔어.
So we spoke about holding wrong views in birth as an animal hungry ghost to helping. Then another state of having no freedom is without the conqueror's teachings. And then another one is being born as barbarian in a border country. So then being born in at a place where the Buddha's teachings do not exist. So you might be born as a human being, and yet if you're born in a location where the Buddha's teachings do not exist, you have no teachings on the three trainings, you have the three baskets of teachings are not there, you will have no opportunity to practice the Dharma. So that's a state of having no freedom. Another one that is mentioned here is being born as a barbarian in a borderland. So what it means is that you're born at a place in which the four Buddhist retinues are not present. Now, the four retinues of Buddha are the retinues of monastics. So you might be born in a certain location, certain place. The teachings of the Buddha will be there, will be available. However, the retinues will not be there, which means that the ability to transmit the teachings in their completion, in their entirety, is not there. You'll not have the transmission of the different lineages. You're not going to have the transmission, the complete transmissions of the lineages of vows, and therefore it is still considered to be a state of no freedom.
Teta ning she kubayina da jibarwasta ani chuche da kenseng mudasta ani serin ta se de thazi rimbu se da thai ne jire delaya da ji ani kewa dan chu kama to ji pigilaya ani saji gi dewaji gi thoni be ani tun dan ru yu kejaris ro da bena da ngazu medawe na ji dan jon den ragsi ji bayna 아니 메제 간서 따지 촐라스르지 되기도 왔어 디소르지 레스타 간지 아니 가르서다 아 신니 대화장기 아니 다 라로 세치네 메제 간서 따지 치가 라모델이야 그 제부 조온디기 다 치가 라모델이야 되니 다 딜렌 타가지 규케 사메디 아니 마키야마도 야드로사 네요 마르와스 다 마키 렌디기 짬발라 아니 게세 네도 아니 가서 땡 유도 그 미기 게사든 통구연자 아니 남라슈 치 용구이 비케자레스
Other states of having no freedom that are mentioned in this verse are being born as deaf and dumb, also not having the capacity to get those teachings or to practice the Dharma, and then birth as long life God. Now, a birth as a long life God is also regarded as a state of having no freedom, because being born as a God, one is completely engrossed for most of the time in the pursuit of contaminated happiness or enjoying contaminated happiness. It's just like when we think of ourselves as human being. If you think of a human being that is quite wealthy and they stay for most of their life being completely intoxicated, they completely waste their life in intoxication, right? So in that sense, you can say that being born is a long life God, and continuing to partake of contaminated happiness is being intoxicated with that contaminated happiness. So think about it in terms of, for example, solely enjoying the bliss of shamatha, the bliss of calm abiding, and not creating any other causes for a higher rebirth, so long as you are completely intoxicated, or one is completely intoxicated by this bliss of calm abiding. So when one spends the life in being completely engrossed in the bliss of calm abiding without creating causes for a higher status rebirth, coming to the end of their life, being on the verge of death, there would be no other way for them to proceed other than to a lower state of rebirth, on account of not having cultivated causes for a higher status rebirth. And it is said that those beings in that state can see their future lifetimes, and seeing the type of rebirth that they will take next, the mind becomes full of fear.
레시에서 다 네게보 대다도다 딘디게 네게보 대다도다 게와치비 다와메베스 게와치비다 다와온 까와메바 고검메바 튕김메바 인사 아니 무컴바스그레스 무컴바스그레스.
So we mentioned those 8 states. The commentary says, because in these 8 states there is no freedom to practice the Dhamma, they're called states of non-freedom.
단 저와추 년되지 살래 랑저가든 신저가 세지 정도 소소 되비게 나 아니 신을 되고나 단 매니 위기 엄보창와 단지 디 무컴비 톤 수종디 아니 세우차도 단 렌타 말로바 낼 테스지 아니 렌타 말로바는 세메체서 제도 주고 많이 받아 낼 때는 되는수는 되고 따디 기치슈 차관자 꼭 있으시 난지 송다.
So we're speaking about a human body with freedoms and opportunities, right? So we spoke about the 8 states of freedom, and now we're going to look at the 10 opportunities or the 10 endowments, which are divided into 2 sets of 5. There's the first set of 5 opportunities which pertain to oneself, and then the second set of 5 opportunities that pertain to others. Let's look at the first set pertaining to oneself. In the commentary, it says, the 10 endowments are listed in the here's ground by a Sangha. The 5 endowments of self are being human, being born in a central land, complete faculties, not having transgressed the limit of karma, and having faith in the source. This is what a Sangha says in his here's ground. Not having transgressed the limits of karma means not having committed or not having induced others to commit any of the intermediate actions. Those intermediate actions refers to the sadhanas called the 5 heinous actions, so the 5 actions without intervening period, so not having transgressed that. And having faith in the source means to have faith in the 3 baskets of teachings.
대다디 나노야 아니 조 아니 셈메 제바세 셈메 제선 다 소주비 셈메기 잡을래 아 무스 마슈나야 신체도 주고 어딘지라 왔다 셈메 조디 아니 지 파마세발 소바 신디 파마세발 소바 아니 조유기 다좀바다 아니 산지 쿨라야 아니 냥섬 탄짐발 소바디 세메기 내차고레스 다 딘디 지인바이나 아니 땡텔이야 다지 아니 돈바키야라 소바타 도소타 카고 쇼지 차고 와서라다 로
Of the 5 opportunities that pertain to oneself, the 4th one is not having transgressed the limit of actions. So not having transgressed them is taken to be not done one of the actions, one of the 5 actions without intervening period. Now, what are those 5 actions? Amongst the 5 actions you have, for example, killing your mother and father of this life, or killing an ahat, which is an object that we make offering to or that we pay homage to, drawing a blood from a tathagata. So those are examples of those 5 actions without intervening period. And if you perform one of those actions, it would be extremely difficult for you in this life to generate a vow in your mind stream.
테르다간지 소수응원에 차긴 창고야지기 조주 나눠야 소수응원에 차긴 창고야지기 조지기가 这个多是他只当的忙不有句话呢他做米因过呀开始呢米马到别个主要新个店了呀 아니 domba sungu tsube taji 아니 tobi yonde tehite 아니 ki tugmenza tun tugmenza 아니 야슈드 미텐 체건자 미인고레스 대한 우스게 ombo 창고야 대한 우 단지인자 아니 메이나야 아니 dombal내야게 땡 힘바이나야 dombal렌시기 율메바이나 아니 dom바키야 고고요 말와스 우인고에 조들에 되네 옹보 상와디 렘바드 국발라 소바 옹발라 소바 임바이나 이거 년식 말이 시식 말이 마식 말이 야 배주미기 차고도 왔어.
Of the 10 opportunities, five of them are central to oneself. So we have being born as a human being. Only a human being is the basis for taking up the 3 vows. And you can say that the 3 vows illustrate the qualities of realizations that only human beings can generate. So being born as a human being. Being born in a central land, we've mentioned it also in relation to the states of having no freedoms. Having complete faculties, like if you think of being born with a certain disability, physical or intellectual disability, which will make it difficult for you or impossible for you to listen to teachings. If you think of, for example, not being born in a central land, you might be born as a human being, but if you have no one to take a vow from, no object to take a vow from, you'll not be able to practice ethics of guarding vows. If you are born with incomplete faculties, again, you will not have the opportunity to practice the Dharma.
제드니 온부만 삼아이나 베나 내레 대바데 용음도 왔어. 내레 대발이야. 데너숨이야. 대바 용이야야. 안 데너숨이야. 퇴숨 죽퉁인기 깨우직면나 안 데너숨라. 아니 신이 대바터바디 자원이 용음도 왔어. 라.
The last opportunity pertaining to oneself is having faith in the source. Let's look at what is stated here in our translation. It says, having faith in the source. So having faith in the source is having faith in the teachings that the Buddha gave. For example, those teachings included in the 3 baskets, the 3 repositories of teachings. If you have no such faith, you will also not have the opportunity to develop an informed faith, faith that is born from knowledge.
Yeah.
So there is a question that is pasted here on the chat. What is the difference between complete faculties in the freedoms and in endowments? Dila mikomba ge nanglo la lenshi kupas chi sajdo. Ani kabdila wambo mat ranjo ngadila wambo tsawan sajdo. Chezan dini la kewa kariona. Nenshi kupale kasa tawa. Mikomba de meba ta wambo tsawa dini la kewa yota me
개발시도 요 말이었어. 가서는 뭐 컴바 게를 도바디 아니 컴바 게를 샤워라. 라.
Well, there is no difference, not much difference between the freedom that we have from states in which we are being born as dumb or with incomplete faculties. Here it says in our text, it says deaf. And in the 5 opportunity pertaining to oneself, it says being born with incomplete faculties. So there's no, Geshe saying that there's not much difference between them.
제다 데누숨이야 퇴숨 김주마투나 아니 퇴종기 셔럽 용해요 말아스 퇴종기 셔럽면은 데누숨 그된 삼비기 삼종기 아니 로데 용 말아스 데누숨 그된 삼비 삼종면은 디 곰비기 곰종기 로요 말아스 데면은 아니 쳬드야기 아니 고든이 보디 다 간지 드투 말아스 인자 아니 데누숨의 대비 대바 데누숨 대비 퇴종 셔럽 아니 삼종 셔럽 공종 셔럽디 상기기 비 추다 님보직 도스 차기도 왔으라.
The last opportunity says having faith in the source. The last opportunity pertaining to oneself, having faith in the source. So if you do not have faith in the 3 repositories, the 3 baskets of teachings that the Buddha gave, then you have no opportunity to give rise to wisdom that arises from study, wisdom that arises from meditation. You don't have the opportunity to follow the study and reflection of these teachings, and therefore you will have no ability to give rise to wisdom that arises from them. And if you don't have the ability to give rise to wisdom, there would be the main purpose of studying reflection or practicing the Buddha's teachings will not be fulfilled.
딘도레스다 다 현줄나 다 소중원이 디창고 그랬다 아니지 생원세나무도 아니 가르창고스라운디 산진직된디 준비가위바 대한 산지 전부 담아서 산지 최대의 가위바 아니 산지 최대는 즉 최대 자원이니 아니 잠에 손진 내매바이나 양간줄에 제대 매바인자 아니 디 아니 즉 잠에도 마소 내여봐 저 아니 디 제수 제수 가서다 junde yoba jesu junke yoba ani chi desola ya ani chi tsewe ki kyangye yoba o dindi chi kap chi ani guyanza mazu dindi kap chamalo chande kap ji yimbadi ani shingo gres.
These were the 5 opportunities pertaining to oneself. Now, there are also 5 opportunities pertaining to others. Let's look at them in a commentary. The 5 endowments are listed, the 5 other endowments are listed in the same text, which means the 5 opportunities pertaining to others. So a Buddha has come, a Buddha has taught the Holy Dharma. So not only the Buddha came to this world, the Buddha also taught the Holy Dharma. The teachings of the Buddha remain, and there are those who seek the teachings, those who want those teachings, those who follow those teachings. And the last one is, there is an affectionate compassion for others. Shall we leave the text here for now? Any questions? People at home or people here, any questions, any doubts? If you have no questions, then we'll just finish the session for now, have an early mark. So I'll put the dedication prayers on the screen, and we can live happily ever after. Okay.
Chanjo samjo romboje maje panon ye kewa nyamba me bayang kodi kondu pewara sho tonye yinji sondun jube lang chijer sanze kanje tenju chana be mon tenzen yanzo la so wan de so shen den lun ju sho
Yahweh Tenzin Kyo
Bewe Gozo Chosum Kowe Mandu Pada Sodu Jinkondu Shabden Sho. Thank you. See you tomorrow. 샤운데 디슈 캬스키. 저 언디 캔슬레 처음 그래 샤스키. 맛있게 보시오.
Yeah, so the discussion is at 2:00, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Carl, discussion is at 2:00.
No, the tutorials.
Thank you.
You don't come to that discussion.